Just imagine you've spent thousands of dollars and years of your life, and one day you come home, your house is ransacked, and all of your silver and gold is just gone. For many of us, our precious metals stacks represent our savings, our insurance policy, our wealth, our security. And so to lose that would just be absolutely devastating. What do you do next? It's like all that time, all that effort, all that money's been lost. Or maybe we can plan ahead. Maybe there are some steps that we can take to prevent this from ever happening to us. How do you prevent your gold from being stolen? How can you stop your silver from being stolen? Today on Silver Forever, we're going to discuss how you can keep your gold and silver safe and make sure that all that hard-earned money stays yours forever. Tip number 1, keep secrets. Everybody knows that the first rule of stacking is don't tell anybody that you're stacking. You don't want anybody to know that you have silver and gold at your house. And you might be saying, well, Silver Forever, you tell thousands of people online every day that you have silver. And I would say, yeah, I appreciate the irony, but that's why I stay faceless on the platform. In my real life, nobody knows, with rare exceptions. Family, friends, doesn't matter. Loose lips sink in ships. You could be out drinking. You could inadvertently let some of this information go. You could have it seduced out of you. And once one person knows, they're very likely to tell a few people in their lives. And those people might tell a few people in their lives. Next thing you know, one person knowing your secret has ballooned into dozens of people knowing your secret. Keep your stack to yourself. And if you do tell anybody, you gotta keep it limited. There should probably be a few people in your family that know. If you die, you want to make sure that that stack goes to the right place and that there are a few people who know where to find it, what to do with it. Or maybe like me, you have one friend who also stacks precious metals who can help your family when the time comes. Share your secrets together. Moving on to tip number 2, security. You don't need a hilltop castle to keep your home secure. You don't even need to live out in the boonies, away from people. Even if you're in the big city, even if you're in a highly populated area, there are plenty of steps that you can take to make sure that your home is safe and secure with the silver stack inside. Of course, we all understand the obvious steps. Keep your doors locked. Make sure that people can't access the home through windows, sliding glass doors, balconies. If you need to, put a deadbolt on. Use padlocks. Most people would be totally shocked to see how easy it is to kick in a door. But it doesn't just end at the fortifications and at the surveillance cameras. A lot of us who are buying bullion online, guess what? Your delivery driver probably knows. Your mailman probably knows. If you have to sign for packages, always make sure that you're dealing with a real delivery driver, because you never know if somebody's faking it. Your neighbors could have cased your place. They could have understood that you were stacking precious metals pretty heavy. And if they have time to sit back, observe your patterns, make a plan, they could find a way to falsely enter the home. And if somebody is threatened, facing imminent violence, they are very likely to break. Whether it's you, whether it's a family member, it never makes sense to sacrifice your health and well-being for cash or for precious metals. So you always have to find ways to prevent them from entering in the first place. And that's when it might start making sense to stack precious metals like lead and the tools to go with them to always protect your family, no matter what the circumstances are. Tip number 3, a safe. A fail-safe way of at least slowing down a criminal, giving it time to get the police there and arrest them before they can make it off with your precious metal stack. Get a big, a heavy, large safe and keep it hidden in the home. If you're fortunate enough to have a hidden room, a hidden compartment, a false wall, and you can have 1,000-pound safe stacked to the brim with your heavy precious metals, the odds that somebody can do a grab-and-go burglary and make it off with your silver and gold are slim to none. Given enough time, if they have the right tools and the right access, somebody can get into your safe and steal your stuff. But it would take so long that unless you're gone on vacation for an extended period of time, it's just not going to happen. Now, if you have a small safe or a small lockbox or briefcase that you're storing your silver and gold in, well, congratulations. You have just basically given a perfect carrying case to the would-be burglar. They're going to come in, they're going to see something that looks like it has valuables in it, and they're going to pick it up and walk away and deal with opening it later. If they know you have silver and gold and they can tell that that thing's heavy, odds are they're just going to take it and run, and there goes all of your precious metal savings. Number 4, sight. Chances are when you first found this video, this is what you were thinking about. Where should I hide my precious metals? Where should I store my silver at home? And yes, I did say at home. Now, I know some of you with bigger stacks might think it's a good idea to split it up, have some in a safe deposit box at a bank, and maybe even vaulted with a bullion company. But for me, I want to know that when I need it, regardless of the circumstances, I can get it. And the only way I can be sure of that is to have my precious metals in my possession. But before we pick a site to hide the metals, we need to know who we're hiding it from. The usual suspects. If you're going to be storing silver items at home, do it smart. There are 2 major types of theft that you need to worry about. The first is a burglary. Most burglars live within 2 miles of the homes that they burgle. They know when you're not home, and they usually hit in the middle of a weekday. Sneak into your house, grab whatever they can as fast as they can, and get out of there immediately. The average burglary lasts less than 10 minutes, which means that if you can find effective hiding places for your gold and silver, then your precious metals will likely be overlooked. And the second type of theft to worry about, people that you know and trust. Family, friends, and loved ones. Maybe they've fallen on hard times. Maybe they have an addiction. Maybe they're just a young, dumb kid who doesn't know any better. This is why you have to play your cards close to your chest. Don't just share the fact that you have precious metals with any and all members of your family and friend circle, because you never know, things change, and they decide that taking your bullion is the best option. Keeping these suspects in mind, what would be the smartest way to store your silver at home? Would it be to use a small safe or lockbox? Or would it be to actually hide it in a mysterious location, somewhere that no one would really look, somewhere that no burglar would be able to see within a 10-minute window, or that no house guest would just notice like they would a small safe? So what kind of hiding places are we talking about? I'm sure that you've heard of people stuffing their couch cushions, or maybe going under or inside of their mattress, but any burglar worth his salt is going to be able to throw around a couple pillows and tell if it weighs 1 pound or 15 pounds. Some folks think they have an awesome hiding spot with a hidden compartment in a book. Well, newsflash, burglars know about these too. So you have to start thinking like a burglar, thinking like you're seeking out precious metals. Take a look at this kitchen. Where would you hide your stack of silver? Or at least a couple of gold coins? Did you guess the range hood? Maybe on top of the cabinets? Inside a food or freezer item? Or maybe under the sink? I've heard plenty of stories about people putting gold or silver inside of meat or other food items and then putting it at the bottom of a chest freezer. Too many problems here. How are you going to access it? And how many of grandma's old junk silver stashes have gotten thrown out with spoiled meat over the years? Think of something better. How many burglars are going to go searching through your cleaning chemicals under the sink? How many are going to suspect that you've installed a fake PVC pipe that holds some of your silver and gold? What about using a paint can stored out in the garage? It's just as heavy and it looks dirty, but inside you've got your stash. And of course, the same logic holds true for something like a potted plant. But if you're really thinking about burying your precious metals, you might want to think again. Unless you're digging really deep, any metal detector will be able to pick up on your cache. You'd have to wrap the thing in many protective layers, bury it in the middle of the night, never be able to access it, remember where to find it, And good luck passing a treasure map onto your next of kin in case they need to find your hoard when you die. It might seem crazy, but there is such a thing as hiding your metals too well. Let's say you're stashing it in an old box labeled donations. What happens when you get in a car accident, or one day someone's doing some spring cleaning and decides to take that to the thrift store? Brainstorm sites where you can hide your silver stash, and then immediately cross the first 5 off the list. Chances are, if you're thinking of these places, so are the bad guys. Which brings us to tip number 5, seek. Now's your chance to assess how your hiding sites will fare against a burglar or a nosy house guest. Give yourself 15 minutes. Walk in through the front door and start looking. Where would the valuables be hidden? You have 15 minutes to get in and out with whatever you can find. Most burglars will go directly to the master bedroom. They'll look for a safe in the closet. They'll look for jewelry in the dresser, all the obvious places, and that's already gonna take a bit of time. They'll start ransacking, pulling out the drawers. If they notice something's heavier than it should be, they might investigate further. In these circumstances, is somebody gonna discover your silver and gold stash? Which brings us to our 6th point, sabotage. Is there a way that you can prevent your silver stash from being stolen, but still have them believe that they got the goods? Have some decoys, have some fake gold jewelry on the dresser, have an obvious safe in the closet that has no silver in it, but maybe a couple bricks in the bottom. That will convince them. If your stack is big enough, it might be time to start splitting it up. Which brings us to our 7th and final point, spread. If a burglar only has 10 minutes in your house and they come across a silver stash, they're probably going to take it and run. If you were a burglar, would you spend another 5 minutes looking for some more silver that might be there while the police are on the way? No. If you have diversified your stack with silver and gold, does it make sense to leave your gold with your silver when it takes up 100 times less space? Take advantage of how compact and valuable your gold is and hide it in a separate location. Diversify your hiding sites the same way you've diversified your stack. This is the way to prevent your gold and silver from being stolen. Keep your secrets, maintain your security, utilize a big, heavy safe, find good hiding sites with suspects in mind, and then act like a burglar and try to seek out your silver stack. Sabotage their efforts with decoys and make sure to split and spread your stash so that you can hold your silver forever and pass it on to your next of kin. Unless you lose it in a boating accident or something.